Have you ever stopped to think about what drives you in a world obsessed with speed, progress, and destination? What does it really mean to be in control or to lose it? Here in the heart of car culture, the Chariot is more than just a card about victory. It's a mirror reflecting our modern struggles with ambition, direction, and discipline. Are we steering our lives or are we just passengers in someone else's race? And what happens when the road you're on feels just like a treadmill, more than a journey? Let's take a closer look at the Chariot, because sometimes the vehicle isn't just a metaphor, it's a wake-up call. Ready to buckle up? Let's go. The Chariot, el carro, is often seen as the card of victory, a triumph over obstacles. But it's so much more than just winning the race. It's about the journey, the struggle, and the tension between opposing forces. Historically, Chariot has been associated with grandeur, from the Roman processions of conquering heroes to the celestial chariots of fire in Greek mythology, like Phaeton, recklessly driving his father Helios' chariot across the sky. It's not just a vehicle, it's a symbol of willpower, ambition, and often the fragile balance between control and chaos. Think of a knight in shining armor, crowned and carrying either a sword or a scepter while riding a glorious fiery chariot. This is a victorious and decisive card. It is the triumph of reason overcoming obstacles. Think of Alexander the Great, forging an empire and planting the first seed of what would later be known as the Hellenic world. We are also reminded of the figure of St. George. This is the hero, king, and savior who will slay the dragon. It is also representative of Mars, the Roman god of war. For the Greeks, it was Ares, but it could also be Apollo riding the chariot of the sun, which also signifies the triumphal ego. But who's pulling the chariot? Two creatures, whether horses, sphinxes, or something more mythical, represent duality. There are the yin and yang, the riddle of Oedipus. What is man? That's the question. What is man? And the forces that pull us in different directions. Plato, in his dialogue Phaedrus, used the image of the chariot to describe the soul. The charioteer, or reason, must steer the horses of will and appetite. It's not easy, is it? One horse is pulling you towards your passions, the other towards discipline and reason. The success of the journey depends entirely on your ability to hold the reins and maintain equilibrium. The goal should be to have our mind rule over our animal instincts. This ancient metaphor also aligns well with modern neuroscience. The American neuroscientist Paul MacLean came up with the triune brain theory, dividing the human brain into three parts: the reptilian, which is the oldest, the basal ganglia, the mammalian or the limbic system, and the paleo-mammalian brain or the neocortex. These, interestingly enough, correspond with Plato's soul of appetite, the soul of will, and the soul of reason. Additionally, in Plato's Republic, the Greek philosopher describes a perfect society with workers whom should learn to nurture the virtue of temperance, warriors who should learn and nurture the virtue of strength, and leaders who should learn and nurture the virtue of justice or prudence, which is the final virtue to be learned as the sum of all previous three. The issue at play here is with the charioteer. It's an issue of control. When we see this card, we're talking nothing more and nothing less than the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell. This is the hero archetype, forging ahead. The adventure has just begun. As the hero sets forth in his quest, he takes his first steps into becoming an adult and finding his individual place in a wider social context. In Christian iconography, the chariot takes on spiritual dimensions. Think of saints as warriors of faith, riding celestial chariots, triumphing over sin and chaos. The image is both literal and metaphorical, conquering not just external enemies, but internal struggles. It's a theme that resonates in Latin America. We see the processions and parades that transform vehicles into mobile altars adorned with symbols of faith, community, and celebration. Now, let's talk about the horses here for a moment. There's an interesting connection between this animal that has to do with the afterlife and immortality. The horse, since antiquity, represented victory over mortality. It was not uncommon to have higher mandataries and rulers be buried with their horses. Even up to modern times, the funeral procession of John F. Kennedy was accompanied by horses. There's something sacred and ceremonious about this noble beast. On the other hand, a pair of horses may represent the negative and positive aspects within us all, the wild aspect and the noble as well. Fast forward to today, in our car culture, the chariot has evolved. The car has become a modern-day chariot, a symbol of freedom, power, and progress. As a powerful, dynamic, phallic symbol, it is an emblem of patriarchy itself. It represents ingenuity, ambition, drive, a blind faith in technology and human progress in all fronts, with all of its ills and benefits. And let's not ignore the shadow side. Cars, highways, and urban sprawl are also emblems of disconnection, overconsumption, and the toll our ambition takes on the environment. When the chariot is out of balance, it leads to recklessness, like Phaeton, who crashed his father's chariot and burned and scorched the earth. This is also a sign of danger and rigidity and over-identification with the vehicle. The chariot represents reaching maturity and embarking on what should ideally be a successful life. But the chariot isn't just about external success. It's deeply personal. It represents the hero's journey, the pivotal moment when the protagonist decides to take control of their destiny. Think of Luke Skywalker stepping into his X-Wing fighter, Neo deciding to fight the Matrix, Frodo leaving the Shire with the ring, or Harry Potter leaving the safety of the Dursleys' house. This is the first major step towards individuation, testing life's limits, exploring new horizons, and embracing risk. It is alpha energy, therefore the power of the written word, the verb, and speech. But it is also can mean inflated ego and hubris. Just look at the centrality of the figure in the composition of this card. It's quite straightforward. It's right there. Think for a moment. If you ever had a first road trip, that open road, the sense of freedom, the thrill of adventure, it wasn't just about the sights or the miles. It was about the process, the motion. That's the essence of the chariot. It's about movement, progress, and setting the wheels of life into motion. But it's also a reminder to pull in the reins when needed. Too much haste and you'll miss the journey entirely. There's also the aspect of what Carl C. Jung would refer to as the persona or the mask, which we may overly identify with as we grow older. This is in part a defense mechanism we put on in order to deal with the world outside. Like a car or a chariot, it is a mere facade which we must be mindful of. The number 7 adds another layer to this card. It's the number of creation and transformation. 7 days of Genesis, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 notes in the musical scale. The number 7 connects this card with fate, destiny, completion, transformation, and enlightenment. The chariot is the culmination and victory over the first line of the major arcana. It crowns the line's process of maturation. The charioteer is all of the previous cards rolled into one. It carries the lessons of the magician's will, the intuition of the popist, the creativity of the empress, the authority of the emperor, the wisdom of the pope, and the lover's choices. It's a victory, yes, but also a beginning, and the point where the journey towards self-discovery truly starts. What about today's chariots? Cars are no longer just machines. They're powered by technology, GPS systems, self-driving AI, and algorithms. Are we still in control, or have we become passengers in a vehicle we barely understand? The chariot challenges us to ask, are we steering or are we being steered? In this age of automation, with the rise of AI, holding the reins has never been more important or more difficult. This card is the first card to ask us, what is the relation between us humans and the technology that drives us? Remember the first time you learned how to drive? Think of the sense of total freedom you experienced. Ever been on a road trip and you get that sense that the world has just opened up? You have the ultimate control to direct where you go, and you choose your own destination. That's the idea behind the Chariot. But beyond the obvious car culture references most of us experience, even when we're out there in the woods or traveling abroad. I remember back in 1997, traveling alone for the first time as a backpacker in Europe. And I got that very feeling, just total freedom and picking my own destination. It's not just the number of sights and sounds, but how we interact and assimilate these experiences in the long run. This card is also about impatience, rushing ahead towards a goal, and the need to pull in the reins or hold your horses. Action can be at times immature, impetuous, jumping ahead of itself at times, especially when we are much younger and can't wait to experience the world. This card is all about motion, movement, and the need to overcome fear and procrastination. Getting involved in the process, living the moment, starting the engine, and getting those wheels rolling. That's the advice you would hear from the charioteer if he ever shows up in a reading. The Chariot is also a card of migration, travel, moving forward, setting the wheels in motion while staying in control. To steer the opposing forces required for the journey, one must have incredible coordination and equilibrium. One must also have courage, strength, and be fully alert and aware of the road we're driving. Think about it for a moment. What has your personal journey towards individuation been like? How has it been for you to start something new, say new job, new enterprise, new beginnings? What kind of adventure are you setting yourself out to? How many risks are you willing to take to gain total independence? Have you ever taken major steps towards a life you feel totally in control of? Ultimately, the Chariot asks us to take the reins of our lives. It's a call to action, a reminder to overcome fear, procrastination, and distraction. But it's also a challenge to stay balanced and aware of the forces pulling us in different directions. How will you steer your chariot? Will you ride to victory, or will the wheels come off along the way? Hopefully not. This is where the journey towards self-discovery truly begins. And we shall see in the next cards, which are the realm of equilibrium. So stay tuned for that and all the other cards that follow. We're just getting our engines started here. So live life to its fullest wherever you can. Seize every opportunity life gives you. No one knows where the road of life will take us. So let's stop making excuses. Keep moving forward. So here I say again, may the gods, muses, angels, and saints, and whatever you want to call these cosmic timeless archetypes, be your guides and inspiration. Peace. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Also, check out the video on the screen right now for more insights and inspiration. Your support means everything to me and helps this channel grow. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.